Virginia, and these are my dogs Dakota and Zion. Today we're going to show you a fun game that is tug, and some of the rules that we'll use to play tug with safely. Some people don't like tug. They think that it can make a dog aggressive or possibly bite people, and that can be true, depending on how you play. Or, sometimes there's risk of the dog or the person getting hurt. It can get a little rowdy. So when we play tug with these guys, we have very specific rules. And by playing with these rules, we can keep the game safe for everyone and make sure that the dogs aren't learning any bad habits. One of the rules is I always instigate the game and I always end the game. I don't let them run over with a toy and try and play tug of war with me, or keep playing and, even when I want to stop, that they won't let me take the toy away from them. So just like in anything we want to be able to ask your dog to do is you want to be able to ask them to start something, you want to be able to ask them to stop something. Otherwise you can run into all sorts of other behavior problems like the game of keep away, which is much more fun for the dog than the person. The other portion of playing tug is making sure your dog has a good drop it command. Obviously you can use other words for drop it, release, give, thank you, whatever it is you want to use. I just use drop it, but you can use anything. So other things too, if the dog is getting overly excited or overly aggressive than you feel comfortable with, the game stops. Maybe it only stops for 30 seconds or a minute to let them calm down, and then you can play again. Or the game just stops and the toy gets put away. So you want to make sure that at any point the dog isn't following those rules, the game has to stop. We do something else. So in the beginning with the dogs, where I'm trying to help them understand the word drop it, I do have to offer them an exchange. They get so excited about the toy, they don't always want to give it up. So the exchange that I usually offer is a treat, just because it's a little more convenient. I can tuck them in my pocket a little easier. But you can also use another toy to replace the tug with, but just to kind of help motivate them to release the toy is really useful. So sometimes you can just play you with one dog with the tug, or you can let the two dogs play with tugs. But other things that we want to watch out for are we don't want to hurt the dog's neck. We don't want to take the tug and yank it up or down, or even yank it side to side. We want to think of it more as kind of a give-take, more like if you were playing tug of war, if you remember when you were a kid playing tug of war. We're not going to do sharp jerks. It is okay. Another thing that people sometimes think is that, oh, I should never let the dog win at tug. If you watch dogs play with each other, they take turns winning. If they're wrestling, they'll take turns with who's on top, who's on the bottom. If they're playing chase, they'll take turns of who's being chased and who's doing the chase. So there's nothing wrong with your dog of sometimes letting them win. Sometimes you win, sometimes they win. Like, that's okay. Again, as long as they're following the rules. Another thing to be careful of is that we want to make sure the dog's interested in the game. If we start playing too long, they lose interest, kind of defeats the purpose of the game. This is a game that can be really useful to use as a reward, instead of using treats. You'll see it a lot in sports, dog sports, agility and other types of things where the dogs run the course and they're rewarded with a toy or maybe a tug at the end of the game. So I have hidden a tug. And one of the other things, here comes Zion, I love about the tug, this one is great, it's long. If you have something that's too short, I'm going to let them play with this for a few minutes. If you have something that's too short, whether it's a stuffed toy or a ball or a Kong or something, or bone, it's too easy for them to, as they're trying to re-grip it, it's too easy for them to grab your hand instead. So having something that's longer, at least a couple feet, gives you a little more space. The dog starts getting up close to your hand, you have another space to grab. The other thing I love about this, it's got a loop at one end, so I can grab the loop, and the other end, see, Zion gets very enthusiastic about this. You can hear him growling. It's not an aggressive growl. His is a play growl. And in fact, you'll see when either I let go or he lets go, he'll bring it back. He actually will bring the toy back. He wants to keep playing. He's not trying to aggressively take it away. So you have to be aware of when is your dog being aggressive and when is he just a vocal player. So Dakota used to get intimidated by that, and he wouldn't try and play with Zion. He was a little afraid. Now he understands that Zion doesn't mean anything by it, and that they can play tug. Can I play? Hey. So when I'm going to ask him to give it up to me, so drop, drop. I'm not going to go into a whole lot right now of how to teach drop it. That's kind of a different exercise, but I'm just going to keep it really simple. I'm going to say drop it, show him I have a cookie, show him I have the trade, give him a break for a second. When I present the toy, you can do things like get it, or take it. We want them to know when it's okay to take it. So if I present it and I say wait, I don't want them just coming up and jumping on me or mugging me. Yes, very good. And then when I want them to take it, when I'm ready, that's when I'll say, okay, get it. And I can present it. So I can either play with one dog or I can play with each other. But the idea is that, they're having fun, I'm having fun. I start the game, I tell them when to take it. When I want them to take a break, it's either, I think they need a break. See how he brings it over, it's so cute. I think they need a break. Or just to practice dropping it. So we can do things. So it's funny, he doesn't pull super hard. But when he starts kind of tugging, I'll let him tug back a little. We'll kind of have this back and forth. I'll bring him forward a little. And then I'll let him kind of pull forward a little. Oh. Now if he drops it, I was going to show, but Dakota got it. You can kind of swing it around. You can create it, but treat it almost like it's a, prey, where you can move it around, swing it around. You can even attach a longer rope to it. Where they want to chase it. So I'm not necessarily always going, here, take it. Especially if maybe they're not excited about it, which he obviously is. So drop it. Okay. Drop. But I'll chase it off. Dakota will play this game too. He runs inside. Where they love to chase each other, right? So if you make the rope or the tug toy move around, they're more interested in running to catch it. This toy can be used for so many other great things of helping teach your dog to come to you. If you're calling come and they're not coming to you, or you're trying to excite them about coming to you, show them you have a tug, turn and run away. Guaranteed they're going to want to chase you. All right, it looks like Dakota's run off with her tug. Fortunately, I have another one. This, I just ripped up some old t-shirts and I braided them and put some knots in. Zion! Again, I want a nice long one. Okay. Yes. Take it. Yes, good boy. Now in this case, I am holding it out for him. You'll see I am holding it out. But I can also, swing it around. Get it. Oh, good boy. See how, if you don't show interest in what they have, they want to steal what you have. They want to steal what you're playing with. He'll be back in a minute. He'll come after this one. Good boy. Get it. This is a great way to tire out a dog. Within like 5-10 minutes, some dogs can get really tired by this. Yay. Drop it. Drop. Good boy. Okay, get it. You can throw it, whatever. But you notice when I ask him to drop it, I give him his reward. But then part of the reward is that I immediately give him the toy again. I'm not stopping the game only when I'm done with it. I'm stopping the game, taking little breaks to show him like, hey, I can play with this toy, I can stop the game, but you're going to get rewarded by getting to play again. So it doesn't always mean, when I ask you to drop it, it doesn't always mean fun's over. I have to be careful with Dakota. If I don't engage with him, he'll just sit there and chew on it. Get it. All right, now we got a three-way tug. Takoda's much stronger. So I don't care that he won. That's fine. That's part of the game. Good boy.